Hello everyone, Chepandis Chepu Telsu Ledu Kadu. Hope I'm audible and visible to all of you. If I'm audible and visible, you can, you know, state in the comment section. My name is Shubham Sagar. Today is 19th November 2025. Very good. And my name is again, this is my name, guys. Shubham Sagar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn profile. And I will share this particular Hindu analysis PDF by 9:30 a.m. in this Telegram channel, Fun Study with Shub. Because study should be fun. Very good. So again, hope I'm audible, guys. Hope I'm visible, guys. Hope you can hear me. Hope you can see me. And just let me give me. LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn profile. Okay, cool. I think we are fine and we are good to go. So let's start the discussion without wasting any time. So yesterday I gave you people a particular question. This question, Hussaini Wala, often mentioned in the context of India's freedom struggle. Good morning, Harshini, is known for what? Being the location of Lahore conspiracy trial, hosting the cremation site of Bhagat Singh and his comrades, being a major base of Gadar party revolutionaries. And good morning, Matt King, hosting the prison where Batukeshwar Dutt was executed. So what is the answer, guys? And Chepandi is fast. What is Hussaini Wala famous for? We have talked about 1965 war. What was the condition of Hussaini Wala before 1965 war? And what happened after that? So Harshini, Mad King, they have given the answer. It is the cremation site of Bhagat Singh and his comrades. Very good, yeah. Then, what else, guys? Let's come back to the present. First article of the day, page number 6, editorial GS3, time to sort out India's serial mess, written by T. Ramakrishnan sir, who is talking about the, this thing, why it is related directly to GS3, because it will talk about PDS, public distribution system. It will talk about MSP, minimum support price, directly linked to your GS mains paper 3. So T. Ramakrishnan sir is again talking about what is the basic rationale or what is the basic problem which is happening, which we are facing in the farming sector. Too much focus on rice and wheat, you know too much focus on procurement of rice and wheat. Like we talk about minimum support price, it is given for 23 crops. Minimum support price, what is the basic rationale of minimum support means price? That, let's say, government fixed the minimum support price of rice at rupees 20 per kg. We're just taking a hypothetical example. If in market, it's not like every time government will procure all the rice. No, if the market price is, let's say, 23 rupees per kg of rice, in that particular scenario government will not procure rice from common farmers. But let's take another scenario where the market price of rice is 17 per kg, which is lesser than the MSP, which was 20 per kg. Then in that scenario government will procure 23 crops which they have said, and they will give rupees 20 to these farmers. So minimum support price, it is announced for 23 crops, but generally the procurement is happening for rice and wheat only. You may feel like, sir, why it is happening only for rice and wheat? Because it's all about demand and supply. Let's say government is saying we will give you MSP for 23 crops, there has to be certain conditions which has to be satisfied. One condition is this: if your market price is lesser than the minimum support price. Let's say if the market price is greater, government has no incentive to procure your particular crop, even though it lies under 23 crops. Second thing is, if you're not producing it, how can government procure it? The other rationale is, if government is not procuring it, why will I produce it? So again, it's a cobweb phenomena. It's a ghuming circular phenomena. The basic rationale is, generally procurement is happening for rice and wheat, and this is also because of our dietary patterns. In South India, you will eat, people eat different types of rice, lemon rice, this right, that rice. So there is a procurement which is happening of rice and wheat. So let's have a look at this article. There are different terms. You will understand each and everything what this sir is trying to say. So Tamil Nadu paddy procurement controversy. So again, there is a keyword here, kuruwai. Terms are actually important. So what is this kuruwai? This is a period from June to September when rice is grown in Tamil Nadu. So Kuruwai season, paddy procurement, paddy is another name for rice. So it has faced certain delays. Reason for increased paddy area, because people know they will get assured returns. They know procurement happens. Rice and wheat, it is procured by Government of India through FCI, Food Corporation of India, and it's go down. And the procurement does not happen for other crops so much. That is one of the issues or the limitation of MSP, or the minimum support price. Good morning, Iltush. So again, national level paddy glut. India procured 119 lakh tons of paddy, much higher than. So we are procuring a lot and lot. So again, you can understand. since government is procuring more, farmers are producing more. Since farmers are producing more, government is procuring more. So this whole chain keeps on happening. And central pool stocks of rice and wheat are consistently above the prescribed norms. Rice stocks are more. And again, these things are not important, the numbers, etc. We'll solve some mains question, some pre-question, you will understand. There's another article which is linked to this particular editorial, so you have to understand. Plus there will be some keywords: procurement, offtake. What is the meaning of these things? So rice procurement greatly exceeds PDS offtake. So rice procurement means how much government is buying from these farmers. So they are procuring, let's say, 525, 547 lakh tons. PDS offtake means there are different schemes of government. You know, NFSA, National Food Security Act, where government is giving subsidized food grains to poorest of the poor, among other people. There are so many different criteria under PDS, public distribution system. Under, you know, there is National Food Security Act of 2013. Let me show you something. So income distance, we'll talk about income distance some little, like there are some important article, guys. So National Food Security Act 2013. Now this is a retrospective act, guys. What is a retrospective, guys? Means act rather. So NFSA, when you're talking about National Food Security Act, it was, let's say, passed in, we are just taking a hypothetical date, let's say it was passed in December 2013, but if they say that it is applicable from February 2013, so this is a retrospective act. So NFSA, National Food Security Act, is a retrospective act. You have to keep it in mind. Signed into law on 12th September, but applicable from 5th July 2013. So these kind of laws, they are retrospective laws. The other question is, now you have to find PM Kisan. There's another scheme which was launched by government, PM Kisan, whether PM Kisan is a retrospective law or not. So we are talking about public distribution system. So what happens in public distribution system? Government is giving subsidized rice, wheat and coarse grain at certain amount, 3 rupees per kg, 2 rupees per kg. This was before 2023. After 2023, this whole food grains, which is given to priority household or poorest of the poor under Antyodaya Ann Yojana, this is all free now. So poorest of the poor, they get 35 kg per household. You may see it somewhere, per household under Antyodaya Ann Yojana. There are different schemes under this. What I'm trying to say, in 2020, Pradhan Mantri means Indian government, they launched a scheme, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, something like that. And then in 2023, what they did was, and if like this National Food Security Act, they are providing rice at 3 per kg, wheat at 2 per kg, and coarse grain millets at 1 per kg to almost 67% of India's population, 50% in urban areas, and almost 75% in rural areas. So because COVID happened, because people were suffering so much, because of which what happened? This from 2023, everything, like there are priority household which used to get 5 kg per person per month at these price, rice at 3 per kg, etc. So they were that, like that whole thing became free. Similarly, poorest to the poor, they were covered under Antyodaya Ann Yojana, 35 kg per household, that also became free. So under NFSA 2013, just remember, everything is free now. There is no 3 per kg, there is no 2 per kg, there is no 1 per kg. This is a matter of the past. It no longer is applicable right now. Why I'm telling you this? Because UPSC has already asked questions on NFSA, guys. So you have to keep it in mind that NFSA is totally free. There is no 3 per kg, 2 per kg, or 1 per kg. It fulfills SDG 2. Like there is one student of mine, Annie. She's very good. She writes answers, and more often than not, whenever she's sending me mains answer for evaluation, she always write which SDG it is fulfilling, and make it a habit. Whenever you're writing answer, think like NFSA 2013 fulfills SDG 2, no hunger. And again, it is under which particular ministry, that is also important. NFSA 2013 National Food Security Act works under which ministry? You may feel like Ministry of Rural Development, this and that. No, Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. At one time, Ram Vilas Paswan sir was the minister. He has died now. So again, these are small facts which are important. The other thing which is very important from mains perspective, pre-perspective, is for you to remember all SDGs. One thing which is again very important is associate SDG with examples. So we know there are 17 SDGs, 169 targets. We don't have to remember all SDGs, all targets rather. We have to remember all SDGs 17. And when you're saying no poverty, talk about income support scheme. Let's say PM Kisan or the scheme which government brought in Bihar just before election. No hunger, National Food Security Act. Good health, Ayushman Bharat, PM Jan Arogya Yojana, quality education, right to education. So associate SDG with example. That way you'll be able to write good answer in mains. That way you'll be able to remember these SDGs also. Gender equality, equal pay for equal work, like DPSP, Directive Principle of State Policies. SDG 6, clean water and sanitation, Swachh Bharat Mission, urban and Grameen. So again, associate your SDGs with examples, guys. SDG 7, let's say clean energy, international, solar alliance, India and France, they are collaborating on it. So same way, have a look at all these SDGs, connect them with different examples. That way you'll be able to remember things in a much better manner. Cool, sir. So we'll talk about all these things. Just let's go back to the topic of the day. So what we are talking about, we are talking about procurement and offtake mismatch. So government is procuring a lot of rice, but they are not distributing that much amount. There is almost a gap here, which they are distributing through to this priority household rather, or poorest of the poor. If you see the disparity, almost 150 ton of disparity you are seeing here, which is actually a big number. So that's what they're saying, and this is leading to wastage. These foods which are not distributed, you will see a particular number here. Government is giving some data, or this particular editorial is giving some data. 28% of leakage of rice and wheat during distribution. That means, let's say government has 100 kg procured rice, 100 kg procured rice, which they want to distribute. They want to distribute this 100 kg. So out of those 100 kg, only 72 kg will reach the beneficiaries, when they are distributing it under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana or NFSA, National Food Security Act. 28 kgs are getting leaked. Leak means, it is going to open market, or they are selling it to some other people. Leakages are happening, corruption is happening. That is what is happening, and this is the problem. These are some problems which has to be fixed when it comes to public distribution system. Like they are procuring more, they are distributing less, they're procuring generally or distributing generally rice and wheat. They have to diversify it, and then there are leakages which they have to take into consideration. So huge food subsidy burden. Government spends around 2 lakh crore annually on food subsidy. So again, you can see how MSP, minimum support price, and this procurement, etc. Contradiction: rice surplus but heavy pulse and oilseed import. As we are seeing, procurement is generally happening of rice and wheat. People have more incentive to, grow rice and wheat, because of which we are importing pulse and oilseed. And there is no diversification in our diet as well, which is not good for Indian people in general, because we are not eating protein rich diet, we are eating carbohydrate rich diet. So again, we have to have a diversification. India imported 1.2 lakh crore of edible oil and pulses. You can see the numbers here. What you have to understand is we have to diversify. Procurement has to be done of other crops apart from rice and wheat. If government is saying they're providing MSP for 23 crops, they should also ensure mechanism that procurement is happening for other crops as well apart from rice and wheat. Cool. So question is, if current rice procurement policy is sustainable, you're procuring, let's say 500 tons, you are distributing 300 tons, there is a gap here, there is wastage here, not done. Is paddy cultivation harming crop rotation practices? Because paddy also releases methane. It's also a very means water intensive crop, so you have to look into that regard as well. And you can see all these things. So does centralized procurement system continue? Now what is the meaning of this whole procurement? Rice and wheat, who will procure? FCI, Food Corporation of India, they procure under central government. So central government, they have these go downs where people can go and sell their rice and wheat, etc. But this is very, like, it's all centralized. What this article is saying, that we can go for decentralized procurement. What is decentralized procurement? Every state procure or buy rice and wheat from their farmers. That would be much easier to track. Maybe then the corruption will be lesser, and then the distribution will be, larger. If centers start doing each and everything, we are not a small state like a country like some European countries. We are very big, 28 state, 8 union territories. So centralized procurement system lead to leakages, corruption, and whatnot. So maybe decentralized procurement is the way to go. We have to give some power to the state so that they procure and they have their own go downs, rather than relying too much on Food Corporation of India and their go downs. That's what this article is saying. And leakages we have just discussed. So need for crop diversification, and again, this is a thing which we already know. And Then there are certain policies of government. You can read all these things, not very important. So let me show you certain thing which is important. This thing is important. We are talking about procurement. Government generally procure rice and wheat. Then government distributes it, which is known as distribution system, PDS, public distribution system. Started during World War II era, because during World War II there was a scarcity of food grains, So rationing began 1940. Then public distribution system started from 1947. And then in 1997, targeted PDS started, where they started focusing on two kinds of household: priority household and poorest of the poor. Poorest of the poor, like which are. And then they started another scheme which is known as Antyodaya Anna Yojana in 2000, where they are focusing on these poorest of the poor. Now, what are the example of poorest of the poor? Landless agricultural laborers. This is one example of poorest of the poor and other people. So Antyodaya Anna Yojana. And then NFSA was introduced in 2013, where Antyodaya Anna Yojana was subsumed. Antyodaya Anna Yojana giving 35 kg per household, these unmet, whether you want rice, wheat, coarse grain, millets. There was a price earlier, but as we have discussed, after 2023 everything is free, and it was subsumed under NFSA. Then in 2019 government introduced one nation one ration card, because there were many people who were having multiple ration cards, and that's why the leakages and corruption was increasing, because they were buying rice, wheat at subsidized rate, means prices multiple number of times. So to ensure one particular person has one ration card, government introduced this ONOR, one nation one ration card. Again, just keep it in mind. What is important? What is Antyodaya Anna Yojana? When was it launched? What it was targeting? How much crop, means kg of grains they were giving to these poorest of the poor household? Who are poorest of the poor? One example is landless agricultural laborers. What are the problems with this PDS system? Leakages and corruption. 100 kg gone for distribution, only 72 kg is getting distributed. Procurement and distribution is also confined to rice and wheat. There's no diversification as such. So there has to be something which has to be done. And there are different states which has done certain stuff. We'll talk about it. So again, you can see this thing. What means article is saying that farmers should be educated to move beyond rice and wheat, and government has to do more procurement and more distribution of other crops as well. MSP has to be implemented strictly for 23 crops, if they're saying 23 crops. And in this regard, farmer producer organization, which is a group of farmers coming together for a particular purpose, they can play a crucial role. They can remove intermediaries, which sometimes ensures that farmers are not getting their MSPs. So all these things can be done, but that is a matter of discussion for different time. We'll talk about it some other time. Let's talk about the major agenda, and once we solve some means question, pre-question, you will understand the agenda more. So PDS remains a cornerstone of India's food security, yet leakages and inefficiency continue to weaken its outcome. Discuss. So let's say this is a question for you. PDS explicitly mentioned in your GS means paper 3. So here you will talk about how PDS system is very old, from 1940 World War II, and then 1947 we started when we got independence, because there were so many poor people. Then 1997 targeted public distribution system. Then 2000 Antyodaya Anna Yojana. 2013 your National Food Security Act. So we are focusing on food security because we have to address SDG2 also, hunger. And then you will talk about the leakages and the inefficiency. 100 kg gone for distribution, only 72 kg is actually getting distributed, rest 28 kg sold in the open market, corruption, this and that. And then even this distribution system is confined mainly to rice and wheat and some coarse grains, so there has to be diversification which needs to be done, so that we are eating not too much carbohydrate rich diet again. And then what else we can do? So these are the leakage and the inefficiency. And in the cornerstone part, you can talk about the PDS system. So hope you're understanding what we are talking here, and use the content which we have just discussed. Talk about PDS system, launched nationally 1947, traces origin to 1940, World War II era achievements, provide subsidized rice, wheat and coarse grain to 80 crore people under NFSA 2013. NFSA 2013, 50% urban population, 75% rural population, overall targeting 67% population. From 2023 onwards, totally free, because it comes under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. I don't know why they mix one scheme into another scheme into another scheme. Because of that, what happens? People get confused. So it has strengthened, help stabilize prices, will help in achieving SDG2, Very good. And then issues, leakages, 28% data, keep it in mind. This is important actually, guys. Diversion of grains to open market, state-wise disparities. Mainly this distribution is happening in states like Punjab, Haryana, you know. We don't have proper distribution system in other states. So there is a state-wise disparity. Procurement also happen in these states only. Over dependence on rice and wheat undermines crop diversification, which is not good for farmer either. And it's not even good for people who are consumer of these crops. Procurement offtake mismatch, as we have discussed in this Tamil Nadu case, how much they are procuring, how much they are distributing, and this, the difference, it is actually getting wasted and go down. Rice, or means mouse. Oh my God, they're eating these crops, etc., led to excessive stocking. You can see all these things. So need for reforms, greater role for decentralized procurement. Why all these issues are happening? Because center is calling all the shots. Food Corporation of India is calling all the shots. So maybe if state has some power of procurement as well as distribution, this can improve. Efficiency can improve. Decentralized procurement will go a long way in clubbing these leakages as well as corruption. That's what this article is saying. Inclusion of millets, etc., because we need dietary diversification. Technology based inventory control. So there is one thing which has happened in certain states. What they do is they ask consumers. Let's say public distribution system is doing what? They were earlier giving crops at subsidized prices. So they are telling you, buy it from the market, we will transfer money into your account. So this has also happened in different states. Technology based inventory control means what? We are saying 100 kg has been sent for distribution, only 72 kg is getting distributed. So what you do, you do GPS tracking of trucks. Let's say government trucks are going with these crops which has to be sold in the market or which will be distributed in the market. So you do GPS tracking, you keep a tag, you do geo tagging. In that scenario you will understand, and it will be difficult for these people, these government officials, corrupt government officials, to do the diversion of these resources. So technology based inventory control. So PDS strength and blah blah blah. Do remember, whenever you talk about PDS, public distribution system, you have to talk about SDG too. That is actually very, very, very important. Cool. Let's solve some question. MCQ1. Consider the following: leakage during distribution of grains. Have a look at this. Which of the above contribute to inefficiency in public distribution system? And use option elimination. Read all statements. So what contributes to inefficiency in public distribution, guys? Leakages during distribution of grains, diversion of grain to open market, errors in beneficiary identification, high nutritional diversity in PDS basket. Use common sense, you will be able to understand. We are saying why public distribution system in India is inefficient. If 100 kg is sent for distribution, why only 72 kg is getting distributed? So what do you think can be the answer? Harshini, Madiking, Iltush, they have given the answer. Obviously, this is not the answer. This is not contributing to inefficiency. In fact, we want this high nutritional diversity. So fourth is wrong. If fourth is wrong, you can eliminate B, C, and D, and you will get the answer. That is A, 1, 2, and 3 only, as stated by Harshini, Madiking, and Iltush. Very good. MCQ2. Consider the following statement about Antyodaya Anna Yojana. We have talked about Antyodaya Anna Yojana because it is one of these schemes under public distribution system scheme, and how the PDS system has evolved in India. So what is the answer? Again, read off. This is a tough question, guys. Why this is a tough question? Because of the way options are framed. The options are framed in a tricky way. So again, read all statement. Try to eliminate those. If you are able to do this question correct, you people are awesome. So let's try to solve this. Launched in 2005 under NFSA, targets poorest of the poor household. AI households receive 35 kg of food grains per family per month. Iltush has given the answer, Mad King has given the answer, Harshini has given the answer. So it was not launched in 2005. Antyodaya Anna Yojana was launched in 2000. So you eliminate C and D. Targets poorest of the poor. Yes, correct. So second, you don't even need to check. Third, receive 35 kg of food grains per family per month. Exactly. So the answer is B, as stated by Iltush, Mad King, and Harshini. Very good. And here we had seen the chronology part. Here we had seen the chronology, Antyodaya Anna Yojana 2000. So keep these facts in mind. They are very, very, very important. Cool. So MCQ 2, answer is B. MCQ 3, which of the following steps can reduce PDS leakages? Public distribution system leakages can be reduced by what? And these points you can even write in your mains answer. Very important, guys. Sometimes pre-fodder can also be used in your mains answer. This is one of the most asked questions in UPSC mains GS paper 3. How we can reduce PDS leakages, what we can do. So think about, again, see all the options, use option elimination. You should be able to solve this question as well. And you see how the things are linked. Pre-related points we can use in mains answer. Aadhaar-based authentication, GPS tracking, direct benefit transfer of food subsidies, increasing MSP for rice and wheat. And think, like rationally think. So we have just discussed Aadhaar-based authentication will lead to what? It will remove ghost beneficiaries. Ghost beneficiaries means what? Who exist only on paper, they don't exist in reality, but these government officials, they create these ghost beneficiaries. Aadhaar-based authentication eliminates ghost beneficiaries. I'm not saying you cannot have multiple Aadhaars. That is actually happening in Assam. I don't know how, but in general, you have unique iris and unique eye scanning and all those fingerprints. So Aadhaar is a proof of your unique identity. So first is correct. If first is correct, you will eliminate C. GPS tracking we have just discussed. It will remove leakages. People cannot do the diversion of crops or the grains which are going from go downs, FCI go downs for to different markets for distribution. So second is also correct. So now you're left with A and D. You just have to check the fourth option. Increasing MSP for rice and wheat. How it will lead to reduction in leakages? It will incentivize farmer to produce more and more rice and wheat. But how it will address the leakage thing? Direct benefit transfer, I have already told you. Because there were issues which were happening, direct benefit transfer means what? You don't go to these FCI go downs for, buying these crops, etc., or different procurement centers or distribution centers rather. You just buy food crops from market. Government will directly transfer the money whatever you have spent in the market. That is direct benefit transfer. Oh my god, direct benefit transfer, it happened in Punjab also. So this is happening on a pilot basis. This is not a thing which is applicable everywhere, and this is optional in nature. Direct benefit transfer of food subsidies. So 1, 2, and 3, all these three statements are, or these three are the answers as stated by Harshini Iltush and Mad King. So fourth is not the answer. And even if you don't know much about direct benefit transfer, you can still solve this question, because increasing MSP will only incentivize farmers to produce rice and wheat. It will not plug leakages in public distribution system. Now, when we are reading this article, before we read about the second article of the day, which is a very important article related to finance commission and local bodies, let's read one article which is very similar to what we have just read. It is connected actually. This article, page number 11, GS3, over 2 crore removed from National Food Security Act list for food grains. So this is one article which appeared. We have just discussed National Food Security Act, passed in 2013, retrospective law, passed later, implemented from earlier. And what they were trying to do, we have just seen the provisions, how it is implementing SDG2, earlier 3 rupees per kg, 2 rupees per kg, 1 rupees per kg, different food grain prices. Now, why they are removing these 2 crore people? We have just discussed what was happening in SDG earlier. Earlier, people were paying some amount. Just give me a second, guys. If you want this particular economic module of mine, you can send me a WhatsApp message at 9650 What is the number of mine, guys? 9650 Just give me a second. So yes, what we have just discussed, we have discussed certain provision related to NFSA 2013. What we have also discussed is after 2023, NFSA is totally free. So if it is totally free, if people are no longer paying rice at 3 per kg, wheat at 2 per kg, or coarse grain at 1 per kg, good, Harshini, Iltush and Matt King. Hope I'm audible, guys. Can you people hear me? Can you people see me? So what we are discussing here, it's totally free now. If it's totally free and poorest to the poor people, they are getting 35 kg per household free. And priority households, they're getting 5 kg per person per month free. So obviously there is more burden on farmers, means I'm saying farmer, on government. So that's why government is removing people from the list. And cool, Harshini, cool, Iltush. And that is why this, removal of beneficiaries you are seeing. So again, remember NFSA 2013, it's in news and it's actually important. Cool. So let's go back and Let's see the article. So this is what we are discussing. Over 2 crore removed from NFSA list for free grains. And you can understand now why people or government is removing, because there is more burden on government after 2023 when everything is made free under National Food Security Act. So government has removed 2.25 crore ineligible beneficiaries from the free monthly ration scheme in the last 4-5 months. And they are saying that there are people who are having four-wheelers. These are not the people for whom NFSA is intended. They're intended for poor people, and that was the target. 50% urban population, 75% rural population, two-thirds of India, 66% of total population. So they are making it more targeted because there is more pressure on government because it is totally free now. So under the scheme, eligible poor household receive 5 kg of free food grains per person per month. These are priority household. And then there are poorest of the poor household under Antyodaya Anna Yojana who are getting 35 kg per household. Why we are repeating it again and again? Because these are actually important. So again, who are removed? Four-wheeler people who are owning four-wheeler, who have higher monthly income. So this is actually a good thing. I will not criticize government here, because whatever government is doing here in this scenario, this is actually making sense here. It's totally free. There's too much pressure on government, and they're removing people who should be removed from NFSA. They're not the poorest of the poor if you are having four-wheeler and company directorship. So this is totally fine. Let's solve some question. Under the integrated Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, food grains provided under NFSA are what? And then we'll go and see the previous articles. What are they? What is the condition of NFSA now? We have discussed this 1,000 number of times. Provided at subsidized price, provided free of cost, provided only during emergency, provided only to AAY and not to PHH household. This is Antyodaya Anna Yojana and priority household. What is the answer? What we have discussed? What is the current status of NFSA? Harshini has given the answer. It is provided free of cost, guys. Food grains under NFSA, they are free of cost now. B is the answer. Okay, we'll talk about this later on. Let's go back and let's talk about the important article. So this article was related and that's why we discussed it here. Next article, very important article. What can local bodies expect from 16th Finance Commission? This 16th Finance Commission, it was constituted in 2023. The talks was going on, and whatever will be their recommendation, that will be implemented from 2026 to 2031. And we'll talk about 16th Finance Commission. Before that, we need to have a overview about these bodies and how do they work actually. And let me show you certain stuff. Let me teach you certain stuff, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this article, important from GS2 as well as GS3 perspective. So what are the things which we need to know about Finance Commission, this and that? Let me just show you. So there are certain criterias, or there are certain terms, guys, which we need to know. What is income, distance, etc., etc. Before I tell you that, let's focus because this issue is a very important issue, this Finance Commission issue, because the resource devolution is creating something known as north south divide. Why north-south divide is being created? For that, we have to understand these particular terms: 13th Finance Commission, 14th Finance Commission, how they used to do devolution, and then what changed during the period of 14th and 15th Finance Commission. So again, there are certain keywords which we have to understand from exam perspective. One is horizontal devolution, second is vertical devolution. What is the meaning of these terms? That we have to understand. So vertical devolution means how money is shared between center and state. So that is vertical devolution. Vertical devolution, how tax money will be shared between center and state. Horizontal devolution is how money will be shared between different states. So horizontal devolution formula, these were the criteria when we were talking about 13th and 14th Finance Commission. So, and we will see a comparative analysis. Population of 1971. In 13th Finance Commission, the criteria was 25% weightage. So let's say they want to give 100 rupees. So 25 rupees will be given on the criteria of your population 1971. This is just a generalized assumption, guys. The weightage was 25% for 1971 population. In 14th Finance Commission, it was reduced to 17.5, and they introduced population of 2011, and their weightage was 10%. This created issue in southern India. Why? Because now you are taking 2011 as one of the criteria for resource devolution under Finance Commission. Many southern states, they have stabilized their population. Their total fertility rate is less than 2. Their population is decreasing. Their population of 2011 is comparatively lesser than the so-called Bimaru states, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh. So now they will be getting lesser money because population 1971, its criteria or its percentage has been reduced in 14th Finance Commission. 2011 has been introduced as a new criteria in 14th Finance Commission. And what happened then in 15th Finance Commission? This is very important, guys. This is one of the most important article. Multiple mains PYQs, UPSC PYQs has been asked. Then you see in 20, like in this 15th Finance Commission, they totally removed 1971, totally removed, and 2011 percentage was increased further to 15%. That led to more hue and cry in southern states. Southern states were like, we should not be penalized if we have controlled our population. This is so not done. To appease southern states, government introduced one particular more like measure, which is known as demographic performance, which was not there in 14th Finance Commission, which was not even there in the 13th Finance Commission. What is demographic performance? That if states are taking measures to control their performance or control their population, rather they will be incentivized, again just to appease southern state. 12.5% weightage, that is actually good. So this population, now the talks are going on, what will happen in 16th Finance Commission? How much percentage weightage will they give to 71 population or 2011 population? These are the things which we have to take into consideration. Let's see some other criteria. These words are important. Fiscal capacity, income distance. What is income distance? Richest state per capita, let's say Goa is the richest state of our country, and Goa's per capita and Bihar's per capita. What is the difference between them? More the difference, more money they will be getting. Hope you are understanding. Poorer you are, more money you will be getting. So in 13th Finance Commission, 47.5% weightage to income distance. More poor you are, more money you will get. It was increased in 14th Finance Commission to 50%. And then what happened in 15th Finance Commission? This income distance criteria has been reduced to 45%. Again, that is actually a good thing. If you are poor, if Bihar is poor, what is the fault of Tamil Nadu in that? The other argument is, if Bihar is poor, don't it deserve more resource from government? The other counter argument is, if Bihar is poor, why should Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh or Telangana suffer because of it? So hope you can understand these rationale which has been given or which has oscillated to and fro. UPSC has already asked multiple questions. So now let's also try to understand this term, income distance, as we have just discussed. These are very important term, guys. This is the most important article for today, I think personally. What is income distance? Measures the difference between per capita gross state domestic product of a state and the per capita GSDP of the state with highest per capita income, which in our case, in India's case, is Goa. Used in horizontal devolution formula, as we have discussed. Horizontal devolution means how resource will be distributed between states. Vertical devolution, how resources will be distributed between center and states. Cool, sir. And then there are other criteria like area. What is your area? 10%, 15% geographical area. And what happened in 15th Finance Commission? Again, same 15%. Comparative analysis. Whenever you are solving any question on Finance Commission, you need to know these criteria. You need to make these flow charts. 99% of the people will not be able to remember these facts and figures. If you are able to remember it, you will be awesome. You will be having so much advantage. Forest cover. So there was no criteria forest cover in 13th Finance Commission. It increased to 7.5% in 14th Finance Commission. Again, it was not there in 15, but they introduced another category, forest and ecology, 10%. So that is actually a good thing. And what else they have done? I will show you some PYQ, prelims PYQs also, guys. So focus. For fiscal discipline. Fiscal discipline, tax effort. What is the basic meaning? How much efforts you are taking to reduce your state debt? So that is one criteria. 17.5% in 13th Finance Commission, reduced to 0 in 14th. And what happened in the latest Finance Commission? So there is no fiscal policy, but there is tax effort. How much efforts you are taking in, increasing your tax base and tax, how much, like if you're taking more and more, increasing your tax, if you are increasing your tax base, then Finance Commission will reward you for it. Central government will reward you for it in horizontal devolution, 2.5%. So in UPSC 2023, they have already asked what are the different criteria which 15th Finance Commission uses. So you have to keep in mind what are the different criteria. They use income distance, they use population of 2011, they're using this. Area is one criteria, forest and ecology is, demographic performance and tax effort are. So the more you will look at these facts and figures, the more you'll be able to remember them. Cool. So we have discussed all the points. Now let's go back to the agenda of this particular article. What can local bodies expect from 16th Finance Commission? So 16th Finance Commission constituted under Article 280 of the Constitution. Their major work is to devolve means, tax revenue between states and center and states, but they also devolve some money to local bodies, panchayats and municipalities. Ideally, this whole devolution to local bodies should be done by State Finance Commission, SFC, which are created under different provision of Article 243. But State Finance Commission, they have not been given adequate power by state governments, because 73rd and 74th Amendment has been written in such a way that state government will decide how much power they will give to State Finance Commission, whether they will constitute State Finance Commission or not. Because of which, what has happened, many of the states, they have not even constituted State Finance Commission, and that's why these local bodies are so much dependent on Central Finance Commission or Union Finance Commission or Finance Commission in general. That's what this article is talking about. 16 Finance Commission, they have submitted their report. Expectation include deciding vertical devolution, we have discussed, union tax, like how money will be shared between union and states, and then horizontal, how the formulas which we have discussed under Article 280. And then they also talk about, they will also give some grants to local government, and local governments are looking forward to it under article, you can see the provisions. This is for panchayats, 283 clause 3 subclause bb, and 283 clause c is for municipalities. Panchayats and municipalities, they handle a lot of work, but they have not been given enough taxation power by states, because nobody wants to devolve their power. If state gives too much power to local entities, they will be weakened to a certain extent, and that's why states have not given too much power to local bodies, which is actually a sorry state. We are promoting top down model of governance and not bottom up model of governance. Local governments can levy tax, but across state, the gap between revenue and responsibility is very large. Variation is happening. There are some states which have never constituted State Finance Commission on time, which will talk about resource allocation. No clear functional or revenue list. There are 29 subjects under 11 schedule for panchayats, 12 schedules, 18 matters. But how many of these matters will actually be decided by panchayats and municipalities? That is all on state's discretion, and it can change. It's not binding. We have discussed these 12 schedules. Originally, in our constitution, there were only 8 schedules, 4 were added later on. And we have discussed, I think, almost 10 million number of times what is the mnemonic to remember these 12 schedules. What is the mnemonic, guys? Harshini, Irtush, Matt King, and others, do you remember the mnemonic for 12 schedules? So if you know it, post it in the comment section. So result, local body are suffering because they don't have enough money, and that's why they're looking forward to the grants which will be given by 16th Finance Commission. The role of State Finance Commission created under various provisions of Article 243. See this? They must be created every 5 years. There are some states which had never created SFC on time. They can recommend revenue sharing and blah blah blah, but their recommendations, states are not taking it seriously. Something has to be done about it, because of which these local governments depend on Union Finance Commission and the grants which will be suggested by them. So what has happened earlier in the Union Finance Commission approaches? Very good, Matt King. So the mnemonic for these 12 schedule is Tears of Old PM. Remember it, guys. It is actually very important. Tears of Old PM. Territories, emoluments, oaths and affirmations, Rajya Sabha, scheduled areas, other tribal areas, federal list. This O is official language, L is land reforms, D is defection, P is panchayat, M is municipalities. So see, 13th Finance Commission, they were like, there will be a certain percentage of union government tax pool, we will be giving it to local bodies. But then later, 14th and 15th Finance Commission, they were like, no, we'll not give a percentage to these local bodies. We will give a lump sum amount, lump sum grant to them. Grant means these local bodies, they don't have to pay back that money. So it's different from loan. This has happened, and again, the condition of these local bodies, they are not very, it's not very good, because they don't have fiscal power, and that has to be there. So again, you can see all these things. States are suffering, local bodies rather are suffering. Expectation from 16th Finance Commission, 2.7 lakh panchayats, 5,000 municipalities are looking forward to how much grant state 16th Finance Commission will suggest to center that should be devolved to these panchayats and municipalities, because State Finance Commission under Article 243 is anyway dead or not being taken seriously by different state governments. Cool, sir. Not cool, sad, but it is what it is. Let's solve MCQ 4 of the day. So Finance Commission, you see this point and use option elimination, read all these statements, use your pre-existing knowledge, use what we have just discussed, and try to solve this particular question. Finance Commission constituted under Article 280. 16 Finance Commission will give recommendation for period 26 to 31. Finance Commission recommends both vertical and horizontal devolution. What is the answer? Harshini has given A. Harshini, all statements are correct, guys. D is the answer. If people are like, said D is never the answer, so I did not go with D. If you see this, if you see, they have written all the things. You know, expectation include deciding vertical devolution and horizontal devolution. You have seen all those criteria in horizontal devolution, but they decide both the things. How much revenue will be shared between center and state, vertical devolution, and how much revenue will be shared or tax will be shared between state and state. That is vertical devolution. So the answer is D, guys. Harshini Iltush, Matt King has given. Harshini Iltush, hope you people are understanding why the answer is D. They do all these things. But when you were talking about north-south divide and the friction between states, for that we were looking at the criteria of horizontal devolution. People, are you understanding why D is the answer? Chepan D's, guys. Chepu Telsu Ledu Kadu, guys. Really good. Oh my god, Harshini sends me answer, guys. Her answers are so good, just like a wow. Which of the following best describes vertical devolution? What is the answer? Very good, Iltush. Distribution of union tax among states, distribution of state taxes among panchayats, distribution of union tax between union and states, grants in aid given to local bodies. Chepandis, Chepu Telsu Ledu. Very good, Harshini. Revise it, guys. There's a homework for you people. Solve all UPSC mains PYQs. Pre PYQs to be anyway solved. Mains PYQs asked by UPSC on Finance Commission. Solve all. There are so many questions, guys. It's not one. It's in multiple number. This is like GST, Finance Commission. These are some common theme on which UPSC asks a lot of questions in mains. Preto, we have already solved. We will solve. What is the answer? Harshini, Mad King, and Iltush, they have given the answer. Distribution of union tax between union and state. That is vertical. Horizontal means what? We are at the same level. This is horizontal. What? This is horizontal, right? So between states, vertical means what? Somebody will be higher, somebody will be lower. A is union, and B will be states. Oh my goods, this is vertical devolution. PYQ 6 asked by UPSC in 2023. Solve this. If you people are able to solve this, I will love you. Na ipuriya dipoina. Ni love you, ni pranam poina. Itikintari poyaki. Poyaki. Let's focus, guys. What is the answer for this particular sixth question? Demographic performance, forest, I have shown you those things. Forest and ecology, governance reform, stable government, tax and fiscal efforts. For the horizontal tax devolution, 15 Finance Commission used how many of the above as criteria other than population, area and income distance? Only two, only three, only four, only five. People are like, oh my god, sir, oh my god, only two, only three, oh my god, we can never solve this. We have seen demographic performance, yes. Forest and ecology, yes. No governance reform, no stable government, tax and fiscal effort, yes. So the answer is B, only three, as stated by Harshini, Iltush and Matt King. Let me show you again. They are asking for 15 Finance Commission, right? Just give me a second. Yes. Where did I show you this? Hey, 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 what happened here? So this is what we were discussing. They're asking what are the different criteria. This is a horizontal devolution formula. How money will be divided? 13th, 14th? But you should focus more on the 15th, guys. So income distance, population is not, of 1971 is not a criteria. 2011 is. Area is. Forest and ecology is. Demographic performance is. Tax effort is. Are you saying stability of the government, blah, blah, blah? So from this, they are asking this question. And that's why the answer is B. How come all of you gave the correct answer? This is a tough question, guys. All of you are not supposed to give the correct answer. Third and fourth is wrong, or they are wrong. And first, second, and fifth are correct. Very good. What good? Very good. Like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word, guys. Make me popular. Anyway, I'll be popular. Even if you don't like, share, and subscribe. No, I won't. I will depend on you people. So, like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. See, the best or cheapest code of success is discipline. If you're disciplined enough, and if you are regular enough, you will get success. Plus, I'm so intelligent, guys. So success is anyway. Okay, let's focus. Again, if I'm adding anything to your knowledge base, you can also donate. Let's focus on the next articles. Page number 6, editorial GS1, GS2. So there is a, happiness ranking which has been published by one of the centers of Oxford University along with UNSDS and Sustainable Development uh, Solution Network. World Happiness Report published by Wellbeing Research Center at Oxford. What has happened here? Pakistan is doing better than us. This can never happen. I can't accept that Pakistan is more happy than India. And that's what we have to discuss here. That yes, whatever we will talk here, that is actually correct. Pakistan is not more happy. It's not only about being happy. There are other things also. Why sometimes we are unhappy? Let's say why Harshini is unhappy, or Iltush is unhappy, or Mad King is unhappy, or other people are unhappy. Why? Because sometimes we have more expectation from our life. If your expectation is lesser, you will be happier in what you have. If your expectation is more, then in that scenario, you will not be that happy. And here again, this article is awesome, written by Ankita. Ankita, we go a long way back. She's a professor of psychology now, where she's in Jodhpur right now. So again, since Ankita has written, so obviously it will be awesome, and there are two other people. So what this article is saying, it will give you an awesome perspective, guys. We cannot always criticize India. We are awesome. Like India is anyway awesome. We criticize our government. So this World Happiness Report, it has published Finland. These Nordic and Scandinavian countries, they always do awesome, and there is a reason for it. We'll talk about that. Scandinavian countries. So Nordic and Scandinavian countries NSD, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and then and like there is National School of Drama also, and the Nordic countries are NSD plus some more territories. So you find out what are those other territories. So Nordic and Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland. Why these countries they're doing so awesome? Because their expectation is not that much. Plus, their countries are good. They adopt a mix of capitalist and socialistic model. Here, this article will tell you about certain good stuff. Why US performs worse than Nordic countries? Because in US, the expectation of people is higher. If you see example of US versus Nordic countries, US has fallen despite wealth. US has wealth, but people have higher expectation from government. Nordic nation people are happy with what they have. I'm not saying they don't have enough. They have enough, but it's also about you. People say, "Na, if you get A, you want B." So it never ends. You become IS officer. Let's say your rank is 80, you are like, I want rank 10. If you get rank 10, why I'm not rank 1? So there is no end to expectation. So there is another expectation factor also, this article is saying. And why we are doing worse than Pakistan? It's not like we are worse than Pakistan. It's just that we have higher expectation. There is expectation paradox also. Then there are methods of these rankings, which we have to understand. These rankings, they focus more on nuclear family, give more respect to nuclear family, this and that. And where there is some amount of dictatorship and where people don't say enough, they feel, like let's say in my country, even though we criticize, I don't criticize Modi sir, you people do, but we still can criticize. You cannot do that in China, etc. Find out China's ranking, guys. Give me a China's ranking right now only. What is China's ranking in World Happiness Index? That will further substantiate what we are saying. So they are saying that where people are more vociferous, where there is more democracy, those countries they are lying, at lower ladder in the happiness report, because they can say stuff. If I'm not saying stuff in China, let's say, people will obviously seem more happy because they don't have enough freedom to speak stuff. So there are certain other stuff also. We live in community, like there is a system of joint family in our country. They don't look at it at a very, like, from a very positive perspective. They are like nuclear families are more happier. So these reports, they also have their own preconceived notion. They are based on this Cantrell ladder, 0 to 10 life evaluation. So in like 0 you are very unhappy, 10 you are very happy. You have to rate yourself where you are, and then there are certain factors: GDP per capita, social support, life expectancy, blah blah blah, corruption, perception. So because we expect more from our country, we believe that Modi hai to mumkin hai, and that's why we are more unhappy than even Pakistan. So expectation, societies with lower expectation, they will actually do good. If let's say Bhutan is doing very good in happiness index, it's not like Bhutan is good than better than us in every aspect. It's just that these people are content. So sometimes you have to keep your expectations in, like tete paav pasari hai, jete lambi saur, we call it in Hindi. That means whatever you have, be happy in that. But again, that is, you will not grow in life more if you have very low expectation. So it goes both ways. So democracies with rising aspirations like India tend to report lower satisfaction, because we want more from Modi ji. We want him. He is Vishnu's avatar, God, by God grace, as many Anubhav says. So India's real challenge, fragmented social connection. I was reading it somewhere awesome. Yesterday I was reading it in China. Most of the people there are atheist. They don't believe in religion. And like, you think about Buddhism, this and that, less than 10% of the people have any religious affiliation. Do check that out, the numbers. More often than not, the country people are atheist. And where political parties are not playing with religion, those countries just prosper a lot. So there are different things which are happening. Social isolation is rising in our country. Migration, digital life, prosperity rises, proximity declines. AI is your best friend these days. So all these things also increases unhappiness. We are having stuff, but still we don't have people to talk to. Biases in global indices. Many global rankings, you see this, they have this bias. Western countries, European countries, they're awesome. So sometimes biasness also comes into picture. Close or control societies, as we were discussing. People where there is democracy, like let's say in our country, there is still some amount of democracy. Although people say vote theft, this and that, but still I believe there is some amount of democracy. So obviously our rank will be lower because people will be vociferous in their opinion, although Godi media is not. So close or control society like China, they will seem happy, but are they actually happy? People of North Korea, they will seem happy, but are they actually happy? That is one question which we have to talk about. So these are the things which you have to think. India's rank fluctuation. What is China's rank? Iltush, Mad King, Harshini, and others. Find out China's rank, guys. India's rank fluctuation. In 2022, we did awesome because during that time, government was announcing scheme one after the other, Garib Kalyan, blah, blah, blah. But it was worse during corruption scandal when Anna Hazare was leading strike, etc. Now, Anna Hazare sir is nowhere because corruption has almost ended in our country, guys. Nowhere, he is nowhere to be seen. Hypocrisy ki bhi seema hoti, there's limit to hypocrisy. So there was corruption at that time, there's no corruption now. Still, we are topping from bottom in corruption perception index. Awesome. But again, let's focus. Let's come back to what we are discussing. Trust is a key factor. In Finland, people trust institution. In India, we have lost our faith in institutions. But we still believe in our family. We believe in our community. That's what they are saying, and that's why we are more unhappy. We are like andho mein kana raja. Anybody who is ruling, they're all the same. Andho mein kana raja means nah. So informal social network, village families, these are not captured by Western metrics. They're more individualistic. They don't understand our joint family system. They have this weird bias. What is weird? Western, educated, industrialized, rich and democratic. They focus on these things. So they don't value collective community-based trust, like, the joint family system, the village system which we have. They are more urban centric. So now, how we can, again, that being said, we are not, yes, exactly, look into it. That being said, we cannot justify our rank. It's actually very poor. Out of 143 countries, even like this is our way of justifying why India is ranking at the bottom. We generally rank from in the bottom only of maximum of these indices. And it's not like somebody is conspiring against us. We are actually at the bottom. We have to means understand it. Once you don't, accept your reality, you cannot change it. So accept your reality, guys. It's not like, Amrit Kal has not yet arrived. So India's rank is 118. We have, given the reason why our rank is 118, why it should not be 118, it should be better than Pakistan, but still it's low. And we still have to do something to increase our happiness. People are in general not happy in India. So even though you're giving 10,000 rupees just before election, even then people are in general not happy. So build social capital, increase cohesion among communities. Don't divide them further. Restore institutional trust. People have lost faith in government machinery. Just improve that. Recognize mental health as an economic policy. Many people in quota, this and that, doing this like in coaching, and committing suicide, etc. So we have to focus on mental health. That is a problem. We may not be unhappy, but aspirational. We are have high expectation from ourselves, and that's why maybe we are unhappy. But again, we are just trying to justify it. We still can improve our happiness level. That's what this article is talking about. China's rank is 68. See, closed. So rank 118 might signal a nation is still striving for better governance. Cool, sir. Let's solve some question. MCQ 7. In the World Happiness Report, what is India's rank? 94 out of 150 countries, 118 out of 143 countries, 139 out of 180 countries, 109 out of 150. I don't know why these Godi media, they keep on jumping here, there, everywhere. Why they don't talk about these things, guys? Why India, like how India needs to improve, how they have to remove corruption, how they have to remove collusive corruption, how they should ban company donation. Why there is never such talks on these topics? It's so sad. So again, what is the rank? Iltush, Harshini, Madkin, they have given the answer B, 118 out of 143 countries. I don't know why we are so happy for no reason at all. But again, we have to do that if we want to increase our happiness ranking. Cantrell ladder used in global well-being surveys primarily measures what? Inequality in income distribution, a person's perceived life satisfaction 0 to 10 scale, objective indicators of health and education, a country's institutional performance index. What is the answer? Cantrell ladder is one of the criteria which is used for measuring this world happiness rank. So what it was, I have just told you. Like, revise, think. What was Cantrell ladder? Inequality in income distribution, person perceived life satisfaction 0 to 10 scale, objective indicators of health and education, countries institutional performance index. As no, it is B. Person perceived life satisfaction on a 0 to 10 scale. It is B, as stated by Harshini Iltush. So this one we have already done. Over 2 crore people removed from NFSA list for free grains. So you can have a look at it. And Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. And then page number 5, GS3, which is related to leopards. So leopards are creating some nuisance in Maharashtra, and Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis sir is saying that it is under Schedule 1. Leopard is under Schedule 1 of WPA 1972. We have discussed this thousand number of times. What do these schedules mean? There are 6 schedules. You know, animals under Schedule 1 and 2, they will get maximum protection. Maximum protection. So if leopard is under schedule 1, they're getting maximum protection. So this Maharashtra government, they cannot take steps against leopard, if more leopard attacks are happening. So they're like, no, remove it from schedule 1 of WPA 1972. There is another catch here. Leopard in general on IUCN list, they have a vulnerable status on IUCN red data book, right? But Indian leopard, they have a near threatened status. Remember these facts, guys, they are important. So Indian leopard, their status is near threatened, but leopard in general, they have vulnerable status. So these things are not exactly same. You have to keep it in mind. Cool. So that's what this article is saying. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, he has said that, or he asked officials to declare leopard attacks a state disaster, and they want to do something with leopards. Maybe they want to kill them, they want to remove them. They can do more things with leopards if leopard is not under Schedule 1. So remember it, because we have already done multiple UPSC PYQs on this particular Schedule 1, right? So you have to keep it in mind. Downgrading the schedule status would give government greater flexibility in managing man-eating leopards. So again, whether they should be removed or not, whether government should be more proactive, how they can reduce leopard attacks, leopard human contacts, that we have to talk about. That's a different matter altogether. We'll talk about it some other time. For the time being, this is what you have to keep in mind. MCQ 10, National Food Security Act is implemented under which constitutional basis? Whenever these kind of question comes, think what it tries to serve. What is NFSS serving? What do you think is NFSS serving? National Food Security Act is serving what? Like, what do you think is the answer? Article 280, 21, 32, 110. Anyone? Think about it, guys. We'll discuss it tomorrow. This MCQ 10 is your homework. Then MCQ 11 also. Harshini and Matt King, they have given the answer. Cool. Consider the following statement about leopard, Panthera pardus. What is the status of leopard? This is not Indian leopard, this is just leopard. So you read these statements, think of it, think of the answer of this MCQ 10 and 11. We'll discuss it tomorrow at 8 a.m. So that's it from me. Take care, be blessed, like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word, guys. I will share this PDF in this Telegram channel, Fun Study with Shub. What else? You can post your score. You can join any of these courses. Prices will increase from 1st December. Prices of these courses will increase from 1st December. Individual courses as well as lifetime success bundle. So, yes, you are your own competition. So compete with yourself. And if I'm adding anything to your knowledge base, you can also donate. So that's it from me, guys. And thank you, Matt King. Thank you, everyone. I will see you people tomorrow at 8 a.m. Bye bye.